That Wayne, that follows on really from the feedback discussions that we had for the budget, but the feedback across the city was so significant on the issue of transport. You know, we spent a lot of time in this all talking about how we were going to provide servicing to this community and to Auckland in a broader sense. That I just felt that it was critical that we keep the discussion going. We are going to commence the first round of the establishment of a transport accord or agreement between this council and the government. Now, that's historical. You know, we've been arguing with Wellington and governments of all stripes for the last 175 years. And I really want to put an end to that. The best way to start to put an end to that is to get everyone around the table, particularly get New Zealand Transport Agency, NZ Rail, the Treasury, Kiwi Rail and Auckland Transport in the same room, dealing with the same information, responding to the same challenges. Good to see the Penlink guys here. Responding to the same challenges and actually coming up with the same advice that I and Wayne and Julia get in the Auckland Council and that the Prime Minister and the Minister of Transport get in government. So this is a historic occasion and we've got some pretty high hopes for it. We will sit together for, I hope, between 6 to 9 months. And at the conclusion of that, these are the outcomes that I'd like us to have. 1, an agreement for the fix. And you and I are here tonight, and we're having meetings all around town to talk about the fix. We are absolutely at it here, all around our city, with the transport challenges. Now, we know we're making a bit of progress. I mean, we can see that in our stats. But the city's growing flat out. We're growing at about the size of an acre a year, about 40,000, and you've seen a lot of growth here. I've just been over to Gulf Harbour, experienced the ferry challenges there, can see the growth there. Wherever you are in the city, whether it's up here, or whether it's out in Titirangi and Massey, or whether it's down on Pukekohe, there is growth. And so what we're trying to do now as a united city is actually one manage it. So instead of responding or reacting to it, and then always being caught short of money and caught short of smarts around how we deal with the challenge, we want to be able to deal with it at the time. So we are looking to get in that transport agreement. A very good idea. What is the fix? What constitutes how we can actually get this city going properly?
About the Silverdale Parking Road and its future, when they put Penlink through, that will reduce the need for so much parking in the parking road and so much widening of Whangaparra Road and the core of all of that traffic trying to get out of Whangaparra Road and pollute and conduce Silverdale. All of those problems will be removed.
Oh man, look, I love your optimism. and I'm not talking about the fact that it won't happen because of will. Hopefully some of the discussion that I've indicated tonight, so we're now in the process of finalising what we call the designation, the legal review.
But what I want to say is that on behalf of the retail and commercial environment that lives and breathes in Whangaparra, we are hamstrung by the traffic and by that road. Penlink we do see as an answer for us to open up our commercial and our light industrial and our retail area. We are suffering. Silverdale did take a lot from Whangaparra. It definitely has, but you will now is building Whangaparra Road. God knows what that's going to do. In terms of traffic, it's going to be horrendous. That's another story. It's bringing more retail in. But one of the biggest barriers to great retail growth on Whangaparra is the road. Yeah. I cannot encourage or entice new retail into Whangaparra because they see the road as a barrier.
But there's more going on. On that subject, there may be another way around funding, particularly, say, Penlink.
Yeah.
When I looked at the council organisation chart, which is 133 pages and every line is a position, have you ever thought of taking an axe to that to help us pay for some of the stuff?
Every single one of those lines are a priority, that someone in another part of the city thinks important to them. And we tried to make some calls.
But we're here tonight about the hibiscus.
Yeah, I know.
And we don't get anything that south of the bridge gets.
Yeah.
We're missing out on a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, look, ma'am, I mean, we've heard a lot tonight about, what we're actually doing. And, look, if you were to say, look at that rail system and say, oh, crikey, I mean, we don't even have that. How come, we don't get more on the other side? We've got two choices with that. So that service is probably about 75 to 80% of the city's population. And look, we could just have let that thing run down and just do the roads thing, or we could actually get a hold of it and sort it. And that doesn't mean we think anything less of the community up here, and more than anything, I share your frustration. As I said right at the start, in 59 we should have put it through and properly connected the city with a mass transit system, and maybe we wouldn't be having those same arguments now. So, I'm sorry that is the way it is, and it looks like there's a preference going on, but we are actually dealing with a historical mistake. And, we either deal with it now, or we just send it off to the next generation and get them to try and deal with it like my dad did to my generation.
Could we cut the staff down a little bit?
Okay.
On behalf of this community, there is so much growth happening north from Bombay north, and I think that we really have to invest in this area to get the infrastructure right. And one of the key concerns we have is we've heard about the problems of Orewa, and Penling appears to be the absolute answer, but it's also the answer to get employment in Silverdale. We don't want to have people going down the busway, much as I, having been a North Shore City Councillor, am very proud of the busway and the huge patronage number and growth that we've had. First 2 years, 5 million people. But that started in 2008. The gentleman told us he's now gone about the Vancouver example, where they invested heavily in Skyway and SkyTrain and also interference. They've got now 3 lines and the 4th line being built. We've only got 1 bus line, 1 busway. And I think it's really important that we make sure we get the best use of the money that's there. You've re-emphasised that message today. And while we've got growth happening here, while we've got developers who can gain here from adding to the infrastructure, we must make use of that opportunity now, because it's an opportunity that only comes once. We came as a board to talk about a road that bears little significance probably to people here, the Glenvar Ridge Road in Bombay. But we knew that we had Tods there who had an issue with trying to get rid of soil. They were prepared to form the base at their costs, provide the land at their costs, and we've got that road being built now. We want to see that growth capacity fund that Peter's nodding about and Peter controls actually being used here to meet the growth that's happening in this area. We need that infrastructure, and we need Silverdale to thrive as an employment centre for this hibiscus Northern Rodney area. And we have this opportunity, and we must make use of it.